So, as an expat or a first-time driver, you're buying your first car in the UK, what are the things you need to consider? I'm going to go through each and every point in great detail.
So I've lived in the UK for many years now, and I have an experience of buying and selling cars thrice, be it old cars, new cars, cash purchase, buying on finance. I've done it and seen it all through the years. So if you want first-hand experience and advice, I'm your guy.
In particular, I'm going to dive deep into car finance and what it means for you as an expat or a first-time buyer. And also, I'm going to give you some tips how to haggle for your first car. Stay tuned to my video and watch till the end. So regardless of which country you're from, you can generally drive for up to 1 year in your home country's license. However, certain countries will allow you to directly exchange your license for a UK one. For example, countries like Australia, New Zealand, UAE, Canada, America, and South Africa and various other countries will allow you to just straight away exchange your license through the DVLA for £42. So if you're an American or an Indian driver coming to the UK and you're wanting to drive in the UK roads for the long term, the things to bear in mind is that suppose if you're coming from India, you need the international driver's permit issued from your local RTO, which costs around 1500 rupees and takes around a week to process. So with that, you can drive in the UK for a whole year from the time you step foot in British soil, but you have to be careful that you will be paying a very high insurance compared to someone having a normal UK driving license. Insurance is another huge thing which can be discussed on its own separate video altogether, because there are various number of sites from where you can get car insurance and they can vary in price significantly. So looking at the car market in the UK, so one has to understand that the UK market is a matured market. So what do we mean by a matured market? So what we mean in this context is that you can buy first hand as well as second hand used cars as well as new cars. And not only that, even within the new cars, you can have a Pre Reg car or a new car. So in the UK, what is a Pre Reg car versus a brand new car? So both of them are technically brand new, only difference being that a Pre Reg car is a car which is registered first on the dealer's name, and then you're the technical legal second owner for the car. So why do dealers do that? Dealers generally do that because what happens is when a sales quarter in particular finishes, so dealers have a certain target to reach. So what they do is, in order for them to receive the bonus from the car manufacturers, they pre-reg, so they sell some of the cars to themselves essentially. So you're technically the second owner of the car even though the car is brand new. So, and the car would have a registration number, and with these sort of cars you are generally able to haggle an extended warranty because simply because of the situation you're in and you're not the first owner. So there's a slight depreciation of the car, which of course the dealer generally passes on to you. So that's the thing to bear in mind. So if you're buying a new or a used car, what are the different places you can buy your car from in the UK? You could buy direct from the dealer, from somewhere like say Nathaniel Cars, who is a dealer but keeps multiple brands like Fiat, MG, and a few other brands as well. You can buy it from the website. For example, Tesla and Dacia offer the purchases solely from the website. So you can buy it from your local garage. Garage in the sense is like your local car repair / car dealer who takes all brands of cars. Or you could buy it from the dealership like say Volkswagen, Mercedes, BMW, Skoda, and also places like Gumtree or eBay or Amazon. Those are also places you can buy your car from. Also, if you're just walking around in your neighborhood or driving past some parked cars, many a times people put a for sale sign and say like inquire within, or they give a number. So that's also a way to buy your car, but I'll be really wary buying it off someone just privately, just because you don't get the perks you would get from while buying from a garage. So you're looking for a new car, you have to budget for your new car. So for example, insurance, MOT, servicing, repairs. So these are the 4 major costs you need to keep in mind. And of course, depending on how far you have to travel, the fuel or the charging cost. As we all know, like fuel has gone quite expensive in the last year and a bit in the UK due to the war in Ukraine and Russia and various other factors, which has hyperinflated the price of fuel, diesel, petrol, electricity. So depending on how old a car you're buying, if the car is a good few years old, chances are that your road tax is only £20 a year. More newer cars, the road tax starts at around £155. Or if your car costed £40,000 or more as new, then your road tax is going to be £455 upwards. It varies slightly, but if your car is a very expensive car when it was new, then you have to pay a very high road tax. For example, in a Range Rover, it's £455 a year. New cars up to 3 years do not require MOT, and the newness of the car is determined by the time it is registered and not the time you're taking delivery. For that date would determine your service plans, your service intervals, and also your MOT. So as an expat, can you get car finance? The answer is yes and no, because some companies such as BMW, Seat would give you car finance, and Skoda, of course, BMW, Seat, Skoda, they would give you car finance as long as you've lived in the UK for 3 months and you have a council tax bill, a bank account with showing your income and outgoing, as well as if you're registered on the electoral roll for the property. So these are the 3 things most car manufacturers would look into. So those are the companies which will give you car finance. Other than that, you can get like guarantor loans to purchase your car. Broadly speaking, car finance in the UK is divided into 2 terms: HP, which is hire purchase, or PCP, which is personal contract purchase. The main difference is in a hire purchase, at the end of the term, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever your term might be, you own the car outright. And when it's a PCP, what happens is, suppose in my case, for my MG ZS, I paid £4,500 as my deposit, then £110 a month for 4 years, and after that you can pay 7,500 approximately, or 7,400 something in my case, to own the car outright. So this is an example for a PCP. So the other options include getting a personal loan to finance your car. That's an option. Also, how the guarantor loan works is, like a resident who has been living in the UK for a long period of time can be your guarantor based on his or her income documents as well as his or her credit worthiness. Is it possible to get 0% finance in your car while buying in the UK? Well, it is. Time to time, certain car dealers such as Suzuki or MG or Nathaniel Cars, they have this offer. So mostly which runs around January time, because January time is the best time to purchase your new car in the UK if you're looking for the best deals and the best bargains, because the proper sale happens in the UK is in January after Christmas. So that's a great time to buy your car. I personally booked my car in February while they still had the January sales offers, and I also bought my first car in the UK, which is a Ford Fiesta, in the January sale, because we got some amazing discounts on the car. They actually reduced the price by nearly £2,000 just for the January sale. Just to note that as an expat, you might struggle a little bit to find the 0% finance, unfortunately. But if you've lived in UK for 6 months, these sort of things open to you. But please make sure that you're registered with the electoral roll, so you're registered to vote in the address which is your main address proof, and also you always give your payments on time, be it for credit card or your rent, because you don't want any sort of red flags in your credit report. Having a clean credit report is extremely crucial in the UK, because from buying small things like a telephone to getting a broadband connection to getting something like Sky TV or Virgin Media Television or anything, each and everything requires you to be credit searched. So it's very, very, very important that you don't miss payments, and you try your level best to keep a clean credit score, because it's very, very important. While you get your car in the UK, one thing to keep in mind is the distance from your home to the dealership, because while you're searching in Auto Trader or any other website for that matter, sometimes what happens is you might see a great car deal, but it's all the way in Sheffield, like if you're based in southern England, or all the way in Scotland. So you have to keep in mind the distance from your place to where the car is being sold. But some manufacturers, such as BMW, on many occasions can have an offer where they bring the car to you for free on a complimentary basis, while they give you the chance to have a look at the car, to make sure that you're happy with the car, and then go ahead to buy it or not buy it. So just keep that in mind, because sometimes it can get quite expensive to go to different parts of the country to get the car back. So buying a used car, what are the things to look out for? While inspecting the car, it's very important to see, does the car have a trailer hook or not, or are there signs of the hook being removed, just so that you can judge the condition of the engine with that, because any car having pulled heavy trailers or animal carts, the engine would have a tough life. So that's important. Also, if possible, bring someone with you who has very good knowledge of cars, who can inspect the engine with you, and also very, very carefully look into the tires as well as paint work, body work. Make sure all the windows go up and down, all the electronics work inside the car. Make sure the brake pads aren't worn out. Make sure the mileage in the car clock is same or reflected in the MOT certificate. That's very, very important. Ask lots of questions to the car dealer. For example, making sure that does it have a lot of motorway miles in the car, or does it have city traffic miles? Because if the car has a high mileage, but if most of the journeys are done on the motorway, it has less wear and tear on the car rather than start-stop traffic in the middle of the city. That would cause excessive wear and tear to the clutches as well as to the brake pads. Check for any warning signs in the car's dashboard, because sometimes, like, once you've agreed and walked off with your car, it might be very difficult to go back to the same dealer. So that's something just to keep in mind. And also keep in mind and keep your eyes peeled, especially any signs of rust, like when you slam the door panels, the internal and external. You should take a mirror and look below the chassis of the car to make sure there's no rust. Also make sure, many cars near the windscreen on the bottom left hand side have the serial number of the engine and the chassis. Please make sure that the registration documents, the V5 documents, are reflective of that. So I remember somewhere long back, my father was telling me that his friend bought a car in Ireland where it was two different cars stuck together. So just be aware that all sorts of things can happen. So you've finalized your car and you want to go ahead with it. So what are your negotiation points for the price at this point in time? Many a times with used cars, dealers can offer a 3-month, 6-month, or even a year warranty, depending on where you've bought it from. For example, say if you buy directly from, say, Skoda in Cinderford, I know they are giving an offer where even on a used Skoda, you get 2 years free servicing and free roadside assistance. So it really depends from where you buy your car and what negotiation skills you have. Always ask for free servicing perks. I mean, the most they can say is a no, but you still ask for them. Free servicing perks, free roadside assistance, as well as extended warranties. These are your 3 key main things you should definitely ask while buying a new or a used car in the UK. Hyundai and Toyota give you 5 years warranty. Kia and AMG give you 7 years warranty. Suzuki gives you 3 years warranty. Other cars can give you 1, 2 or 3 years warranty. So it really depends what manufacturer you go with. And also the first 3 years, you don't have to factor in the cost of MOT, because new cars up to 3 years do not require MOT. So you've got your new car. Amazing, congratulations. So what are the things you have to do now? So firstly, if you've bought it from a private person, you need to check and update your DVLA details on the DVLA website to make sure the ownership and everything is up to date. Make sure to insure your car, because you can't drive on UK roads without insurance. If you've got the car from a dealership, mostly they throw in complimentary insurance, but make sure to haggle your way like I did. I got 1 week's complimentary insurance while getting the new car, so that's something to keep in mind. As well as making sure, if it's a used car buying from a garage, most likely they will upon request do a free MOT for you, so that you don't have to worry about MOT for an entire year since the day you've collected your car. So the MOT, the insurance, the ownership, as well as don't forget to fuel your car if you're going on a long journey. That's a given, of course. So these are some of the things you need to ensure once you've got your new wheels. So you're buying your first car in the UK. Would you consider electric vehicles, or would you consider the traditional ICE cars? So I'll just give you a few benefits of having an electric vehicle. For example, if you're living in London, then you don't pay the congestion charge, and neither do you pay the UL Easy charge, the ultra low zone emissions charge. You don't pay either of those. As well as you get better parking facilities being an EV. Some places it's free parking, and in some places you pay a very reduced cost for parking. So that's a huge benefit if you're buying an EV, especially in or around London. And many workplaces I know offer free electric vehicle charging points, so you can essentially run your car for free. Having an EV would mean that your local area would have less of a pollution. However, if you do really long commutes, 4-5 hours each way, so then I would strongly suggest you to get a diesel car. For example, the most fuel efficient car in the UK, you can say, is the BMW 3 Series Efficient Dynamics. It's a diesel BMW 3 Series. It is the most fuel efficient car there is. When I researched, in my opinion, you will be happy to know that EVs have no road tax. So you save another at least £155. So that's really good. Another thing to keep in mind is, over the next 2 years, it is highly likely that you will have to pay road tax while maintaining an EV. As well as going into London within the next 2 to 3 years, the Mayor of London is proposing to charge EVs the congestion charge as well. So that is also something you have to keep in mind while buying an EV, that while the perks and the benefits are significant currently, it may not last, 4, 5, 6 years into the future. If you'd like to know more about car insurance and other car related products, please comment below and I'll be more than happy to make a video for you.
How it is. Okay.